Hello and welcome to Narrative Network, where we dive deep into the worlds of heroes and legends, uncovering the most compelling and tragic stories in comic book history. Today, we're exploring the darker side of superhero origins and the immense personal suffering that shapes some of our most iconic characters. Here are our top 15 superheroes with truly saddening origin stories. Number 15. Daredevil. Matt Murdock, known as Daredevil, faces a deeply tragic past. His father is murdered by gangsters for refusing to throw a boxing match, leaving Murdock orphaned. Additionally, Murdock is blinded by radioactive material while saving a pedestrian from being hit by a car. His life continues to be marred by misfortune. His love interest, Karen Page, battles drug addiction and betrayal, which leads to her death at the hands of Bullseye. Murdock also faces wrongful accusations and other personal betrayals, compounding his suffering. Number 14. Deadpool. Deadpool's origin is filled with pain, though he often hides it behind humor. Diagnosed with terminal cancer, Wade Wilson undergoes a brutal experimental procedure that disfigures him and fractures his personality. While Deadpool's zany and irreverent demeanor often overshadows his grief, this mask of humor conceals deep emotional wounds and a profound sense of loss. Number 13. Jason Todd. Jason Todd's tragic story, especially post-crisis on Infinite Earths, is harrowing. Originally an orphaned circus acrobat, Todd's later life as Robin is marked by suffering and betrayal. He is tortured and killed by the Joker, only to be resurrected later. Batman's profound guilt over Todd's death further compounds the tragedy, as he carries the weight of his failure to protect his protege for years. Number 12. Hank Pym. Hank Pym's life is marked by personal failures and deep regret. Known for creating the Pym particles and later the Ultron robot, Pym's life is overshadowed by his own mistakes. His inability to overcome feelings of inadequacy and his guilt over creating a destructive robot contribute to his ongoing struggles. In one storyline, Pym merges with Ultron, becoming a tragic figure drifting through space, showcasing his profound sense of failure. Number 11. Martian Manhunter. Martian Manhunter's tragedy is among the most poignant. As the last surviving member of his race, John Johns witnesses the extinction of his people due to a plague unleashed by his own brother. This traumatic event leaves Johns in profound isolation, surrounded by the memory of his lost civilization. The loneliness and sorrow he endures make his story exceptionally tragic. Number 10. Spawn. Spawn's narrative is dark and complex. Former Marine Francis Simmons makes a deal with the demon to return to Earth after being killed. He finds himself disfigured and discovers that his wife has moved on, having remarried and become a mother. Spawn's return to a world where he is both out of place and a pawn in a demonic war adds layers of sorrow to his already tragic existence. Number 9. X-23. X-23's origin story is marked by extreme emotional and physical trauma. Cloned from Wolverine, she is subjected to cruel experiments and emotional neglect from the scientists who created her. Raised as a lab rat, she endures harsh procedures and training designed to make her a relentless killer. Her life is a series of tragic events, including the accidental killing of her mother figure due to manipulative triggers designed to control her rage. Number 8. Bruce Banner. Bruce Banner's life, while often overshadowed by the Hulk's destructive power, is a tale of profound suffering. Exposed to gamma radiation while trying to save a child, Banner transforms into the Hulk, embodying his fractured psyche. This transformation represents a continuous struggle with his inner demons and a life marred by trauma. The Hulk persona only further fractures his psyche, leading to additional personal losses and psychological battles. Number 7. Frank Castle. Frank Castle, also known as the Punisher, is a quintessential tragic figure. After returning from the Vietnam War, Castle witnesses the brutal murder of his wife and children by the mob. This horrific event drives him to a life of vigilantism, where he rejects conventional superhero ethics in favor of a more ruthless approach to justice. Castle's deep grief and unrelenting quest for revenge make his story one of profound tragedy. Number 6. Magneto. Magneto's tragic origin is rooted in his experiences during the Holocaust.
Try
Born Max Eisenhardt, he survives the horrors of Auschwitz and loses his family to Nazi atrocities. This immense suffering shapes his worldview and contributes to his complex moral stance. Magneto's trauma from the Holocaust informs his actions and beliefs, making him a deeply conflicted character who oscillates between heroism and villainy. Number 5. Wolverine. Wolverine's life is a continuous saga of loss and suffering. Born James Howlett, he witnesses the murder of his adoptive father by his biological father, Thomas Logan. His life is marked by a series of personal tragedies, including the loss of friends and loved ones, compounded by his near immortality and the brutal Weapon X program.
You would die for that.
Wolverine's existence is a relentless cycle of violence and sorrow, underscored by his enduring pain. Number 4. Silver Surfer. The Silver Surfer's tale is one of profound cosmic and personal loss. Norrin Radd, from the peaceful planet Zenla, endures the suicide of his father and the destruction of his world by Galactus. To save his planet, Radd becomes Galactus's herald, losing his autonomy and moral compass in the process. The eventual destruction of Zenla and the subsequent loss of his home planet add layers of tragedy to his story. Number 3. Cable. Cable's origin is an intricate and tragic saga involving time travel and loss. Born to a clone of Jean Grey and Cyclops, he is kidnapped by Apocalypse and infected with a deadly virus. To save him, he is sent to a future timeline, where he becomes embroiled in a never-ending struggle against dystopian futures. Cable's life is marked by relentless time travel, personal losses, and the tragic capture of his child by his clone brother. Number 2. Ben Grimm. Ben Grimm's story is marked by profound physical and emotional suffering. As the Thing, he is transformed into a monstrous form after a space mission gone wrong, resulting in constant physical alienation. Grimm's personal struggles are compounded by his unrequited love and ongoing isolation. His transformation into a rock-like form and subsequent personal losses add depth to his tragic narrative. Number 1. Peter Parker. In most versions of the multiverse, Peter Parker's parents die when he is very young, often before age 7. In the main Marvel universe, Earth 616, Richard and Mary Parker were undercover agents, and a recent storyline revealed they had a secret daughter, Teresa Parker. In the Ultimate Universe, Earth 1610, Richard Parker was a pioneering scientist who, along with Eddie Brock Sr., created an anti-cancer suit, which became the Venom symbiote. Typically, Peter's Uncle Ben and Aunt May are his only surviving relatives. Ben and Richard are usually depicted as brothers who married sisters, May and Mary. Without them, Peter would likely have ended up in an orphanage. The novel by Judith O'Brien offers a unique perspective, exploring Mary Jane Watson's view of Peter's life and the impact of his parents' deaths. Peter Parker's life, while often characterized by his optimism, is filled with significant tragedy. After gaining his powers, he loses his Uncle Ben, a pivotal figure in his life. Later, the accidental death of his girlfriend, Gwen Stacy, adds to his sorrow.
Gwen?
Despite his upbeat persona, Parker's story is marked by profound personal losses and struggles, making his narrative one of the most tragic in superhero lore. Thanks for tuning in to Narrative Network. If you enjoyed this exploration of tragic heroes, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more deep dives into the world of comics and beyond. Until next time, keep celebrating the stories that make our favorite characters truly unforgettable.